Alright, hello boys and girls, moms and dads. Welcome to Heroes Homeschool Academy again. This is 5th grade science and week number 26. Today we're going to be talking about water cycle. Alright, so by the end of this lesson, the student is going to be expected to understand the movement of water above the Earth's surface, describe the movement of water on the surface of the Earth, and explain the sun as a major source of energy in both processes. So what is the water cycle? Well, this describes how water moves through the earth, essentially. It's just a cycle of water. So water is going to come and it's going to be used and it's going to come back up again. Well, that cycle occurs in 4 major processes. It occurs in the evaporation process. So let's go ahead and try to bolden some of those words so you don't forget. So the water cycle occurs in 4 major processes: evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. All right, can you remember that for me? The water cycle describes how water moves through the earth, and there are 4 stages of that. There is evaporation, there's condensation, there's precipitation, and there's what we call collection. What is evaporation? Well, this one occurs when the sun heats up water on land, or the rivers, or the seas, or the oceans, or puddles, or anywhere there's water. So when sun shines on it, the water is going to be heated up, and then it's going to evaporate. All right, it becomes water vapor. Now, when heated water rises to form clouds, and the clouds gather together in the sky, well, that's called condensation. All right, so as water gets heated up, it's going to rise up, and then when it rises up, it's going to gather together to form clouds. Well, that's going to be called condensation. Then after the cloud is gathered for a couple of days, a couple of weeks, it becomes too heavy to stay in the sky, so it starts to fall down as rain. Well, that's called precipitation. It can fall down as rain or as snow in certain cases, but that's what precipitation talks about. Then as rain falls, rainwater is going to be gathered into rivers and streams and oceans and seas, and then the cycle is going to start again with the sun heating up the streams and the rivers with evaporation. So it goes again: evaporation, condensation, precipitation, collection. Goes back to evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. That is what this water cycle is. So, quick question for you here: what heats up the water in the rivers, oceans, and the seas? Well, the answer is going to be the sun. What makes up heated water rise? What makes heated water rise? Well, it's going to be the sun as well through its heat. So you can see that the sun is really critical to the water cycle. So when the sun heats up the water, it's going to evaporate, but what's going to make it rise? It's still the sun, all right? Because warm air will rise and cold air is going to sink. So the sun is a very critical component, a critical player in our water cycle. All right, so a couple of questions here for you. What is evaporation? What is condensation? What is precipitation? What is collection? Well, the answers are going to be here on page number 65. Read those answers and try to explain those answers to your daddy or to your mommy or to your siblings over there to show that you've learned something today at the HHA. All right. I want to thank you, boys and girls, for joining me today. Remember, God cares about you, and so do we. Bye-bye.
I'll be your hero's buddy, and as you study with heroes born, I will be your friend.